God, here we are. It's the last part. We're almost done with this game. We're gonna finish up with some Martian levels.
Go home, Martians.
They're annoying though because they're kind of like those Igor enemies in A Link to the Past, where if you're directly in their path, they'll fire at you. So what you want to do is try and fire while you're momentarily in their path, and then immediately scoot out of the way so that you don't get bubbled by them.
I mean, personally, I'm in favor of the Martians staying. I'm not xenophobic.
I mean, like, aliens can totes be allowed. It doesn't really matter. A citizen of the universe is a citizen of the universe, right?
There's a war.
Damn it, I was gonna say that. We'll build a war on Martianania and make the Martians pay for it.
God, why is Gareth so in favor of building a space wall?
Oh, no, it's just a regular wall.
It's just a regular wall that goes around our whole planet, alright? It's for safety reasons.
No, it doesn't go around the planet. It's on the ground.
What we need is a shitload of bricks, and we'll just keep going up until we block Mars and the Earth's sun get into our planet, and then we'll freeze in 6 seconds. This plan is genius.
It's the only way we can ensure that we keep all the zombies and aliens out. My favorite of the wisps.
We can throw bricks into space.
You can throw bricks into space.
It's like those people that, like, Naruto run in hurricanes and try to blow hurricanes away with their portable fans. It's like, let's throw bricks into space to show the aliens who's boss.
Have you ever tried to eat a brick?
I have not. No. My diet doesn't actually allow me to eat bricks unless they've been raised cruelty free. Also, we missed my favorite level. I like spikes because it's just a level with me and my werewolf boyfriend walking through the spikes.
Mexican only eat free-range bricks.
Free range, cruelty free, free trade. This is another level that has a little enemy trick.
God. Let me do my punchline.
Well, hurry up.
Okay, Mio, what's your punchline?
It's difficult.
You want to maybe say your punchline a little louder?
It's difficult to eat bricks, okay?
Mio, you should do stand up, and then you should just get annoyed when people don't get the punchline.
I just get so mad. Why aren't you laughing at my joke? I don't actually know.
What? Usually in stand-up, people don't interrupt me.
Mio, if you had to choose between eating a brick and eating a zombie, what would you choose?
Both.
Both?
Okay, question. If you had to choose between eating a zombie and eating a neighbor, which would you choose?
Both?
Fair enough. Hey, sometimes we all get hungry.
Miwa, who would win in a fight? Gareth's penis or my penis?
What are the stipulations?
Well, the stipulations is that they're both penises.
If it's a boxing match, you. But if it's a brawl, I feel your penis is a much more technical fighter.
If it's the penis that's doing my taxes, it's Steven. It's downhill skiing, it's Garrett's. I mean, it all just kind of really depends on the competition.
So if we play Smash Brothers Bros using just our dicks, I'll win. Let's test that. TMG next year.
Oh god.
Final destination, no weapons, dicks only.
Dicks only, condoms on.
Did that answer your question?
thoroughly.
Mira, who would win in a fight? A werewolf or a small shard of glass covered in anthrax?
What are the names?
The werewolf is called Juicy McMoonboobs, and the little piece of glass with anthrax is called Captain Anthrax.
Well, I would convince one of them not to fight. And that the real fight.
They have to.
Yeah, like you throw them into a pit, and then you say you have to fight.
The real fight is what?
The real fight is a family, and I'd remind them of their kids.
And make their kids fight. Genius.
The shard of glass has children.
The real suffering is you have their children's fight. All can be given, all can be taken away.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you're fighting for is. All you're fighting for is to prove to yourself that there are more important things in life. Like your family and your children. And supporting them. You don't have to go through this piece of glass.
That's touching.
But meanwhile, if they don't, the mob will take all their thumbs. So someone has to fight.
For our entertainment, obviously.
I think the shadow class would throw the fight.
Literally, he'd throw himself into a bin.
This is like one of the last really bad levels. Sometimes the ants can get super aggressive against the victims and just go right for them. So definitely want to make sure you have bubble guns and try definitely to get the victims to appear on screen when you're closer to them. Just that way it's a lot easier to just run right for them and try to save them. And this is actually going to be our last chainsaw level too. We're actually getting really close to the end game. So this is actually when I use the last little bits of my monster potions, because yeah, you can just rocket your way through this whole thing. The level's meant to be one giant hedge maze, but fuck it, we have monster potions. We have like super punches that allow us to go wherever we want.
Yay!
And yes, you can kill the chainsaw guys with monster punches, but it's not worth it. It's better to just go around them. We're not here to destroy monsters. We're here to save victims. We're here for the neighbors. That's why they're in the title.
And you know, also, just like Miwa said, sometimes we don't have to fight. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. Like, sometimes we can all be the best.
But I want to fight.
I want to kill all the neighbors. I mean zombies.
This game is terrible.
Wow. This is one of my favorite games, Miwa. That is a personal attack against me as a person by talking about a video game that I like.
Miwa, who would win in a fight? A horde of zombies or a 2-year-old holding an Elmo spoon?
What's an Elmo spoon?
Elmo, you know, Elmo from Sesame Street.
No.
You Japanese know nothing of the world.
Here's like one key part where victims are put behind multiple skeleton keys, but at this point in the game, the levels themselves have multiple skeleton keys just laying around, so they're designed in a way where, you know, the amount of keys that the level needs, the amount of keys the level has. But here's this level is pretty shitty because they decided to throw the snakeoids into the second to last level, and they decided to throw a shit ton of them in the middle of a football level. But I'm just glad they decided not to throw more aliens in. But
if you jump on those American football players, will they make the bow sound effect like in Super Mario World?
yes, but only if you can figure out how to jump in this game.
This game sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't have a jump button. There's not really variety of gameplay. You literally just do the same thing over and over for 50 levels.
Now, are those football players? Are they monsters or are they just humans? Like, what are they?
Yeah.
The football players? No, I think they're just normal people. They won't ever actually kill you. They just annoy you and knock you all around. So, I don't think they're like. I don't think they're quite like the zombie football players from Beetlejuice, but you know they're dumb enough to be jocks.
Well, Maxie, to be fair to these football players, they have just watched this little nerd come in and steal all the chili for no good reason. So I could understand them wanting to smack him around a little bit. It's fine.
That doesn't make them monsters, though. That just makes them human.
Yeah, it's again as to go back to the earlier part, those football players just represent Miwa's scariest monster of all time, white people. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Also, they give you a secret bonus for this level, but there's not a bonus level that follows after this. Like, that was actually the last victim screen because we are at the last level, Curse of the Tongue. So they kind of tie the whole Dr. Tongue being the main antagonist all together, and now we're at the final level. Which, definitely you need speed shoes in this level because there are 2 tourist victims that will turn into werewolves if you don't get to them quick enough. So you need at least 1 pair of speed shoes in order to get to them in time, or you will automatically lose 2 victims.
Blast away!
Yeah. Gotta use the light speed dash.
I'm sorry.
Ready, go!
Right, and if you'll excuse me, guys, I'm about to turn this playthrough into a Dark Souls playthrough because I'm about to 1v1 this vampire, because if you don't kill this guy, he will invite himself into the final boss fight, and at that point, it's a pain in the ass to fight the final boss with a vampire also trying to mess with you, so...
That breaks law. Vampires can't go anywhere uninvited. This game betrays the law of vampires.
No, they're already inside, and then he just sort of pieces out.
Why are there so many fucking babies out and about? I mean,
Because they're helpless, dude.
Gareth, in a world like this, the only thing you can do is fuck, alright?
Just make more babies, alright? They're trying to repopulate the species. And the laughing is currently going on because in order to get to this part of the level, you have to pass Dr. Tongue, who is conveniently by a door, and it's meant to be sort of like an interactive scene where you see him, he starts laughing, and then right here you get close enough to him that he disappears. However, when I walked past that part of the level, it triggered his laugh, but without actually triggering him to disappear, so instead he just keeps laughing until you go back to that part of the level and trigger him to disappear. Here we go. Final boss. This is meant to be the final fight against Dr. Tongue, but all they do is just repeat the spider fight. So hopefully you've saved yourself.
What? That's lame.
I know. Hopefully you saved yourself a couple flamethrowers. The flamethrower is meant to be used for 2 boss fights. Definitely if you saved yourself some medipacks too. Always remember that you have multiple lives in this game. If you've gotten to this point in the game without dying too much, you can definitely just take the death for a refill of life, but I have so many medipacks by the end of the game. Like, this is very much a roguelike type game. If you're able to build up a good enough arsenal, the end games should not be an issue, but once you're done with the spider form, he has a secondary form.
I will say that's... What the
This is where the game gets weird.
Oh, it's Andros.
There you go. But he doesn't have hands.
If Andros was a big nerd.
But here's the kicker. The final boss's weakness is the squirt bottle.
Huh.
So you should always try and keep a good inventory of the first weapon because it's actually the final boss's weakness and things like that. I dig whenever the final boss is weak to the first weapon. You can use the Pandora's box.
Like in Ocarina of Time, is it like an Ocarina of Time if you can glitch it through, like Ganondorf is weak to the stick?
Yeah, Ganondorf is weak to Deku Sticks because its value is equal to the Master Sword, and Ganon is meant to be weak to the Master Sword, so... But that's it. And yeah, and that's the weird thing too, because Dr. Tongue in his big head form, he's more likely to just knock you around. He actually has attacks that don't damage you. And that's the end of the game.
Oh, good.
And now the game will count all of the monsters that you have killed throughout the whole game.
We have literally spent about a year talking about doing this LP. So I hope to everyone who watched it, who stopped watching after part 2, this was worth it.
That's kind of my bad. It just sort of takes me forever to record video games because I'm not professional or consistent or a hard worker in any semblance of those words.
Well, again, because Mexi, you got a life. You're out there living the weed life. Also good.
I'm out there being gay, dry, and high.
Gay, dry, and high.
This scene is actually kind of neat because this whole scene, and you'll see later, is actually included in the speedrun route. So a lot of the speedrun includes trying to minimize the amount of enemies you kill to try and keep this segment of the game as short as possible. So the fire extinguisher is used a lot just because it'll freeze enemies without actually killing them. Because this game will count the number of ants and the number of fire ants you kill, and that's obnoxious.
What is the current speedrun record of this game?
6.
It's an hour and 28 minutes and 28 seconds, or at least that's the one on Speed Demos Archive. It's the one that I use to at least learn most of the route here.
But is that like 100% run, or is that just literally just getting to the end as soon as...
Well, there's two different routes. There is any percent where you just take yourself down to one survivor and then just save that one survivor over and over. But much like Chrono Trigger, Zombies Ate My Neighbors has a credit level where you meet the developers. And look, it's George Lucas.
Is that George Lucas?
It's George Lucas, dude.
That's hilarious.
Also, this guy with a British flag because, I don't know, British people exist, I guess.
Those fuckers.
I can't believe Zombies Ate My Neighbors has more British flags in it than it does American flags. What an unpatriotic game. But you don't have to talk to any of these people. This is actually the one level where I don't go for the fastest route. Instead, I wanted to at least... It's a really great game. This is one of my favorite all-time games, and you know, these people worked very hard on this game. There's a lot of love in this game. There's limited assets to this game for sure, but I dig the charm. I dig that you go through like 70 neighborhood levels and then 40 high school levels and then 20 castle levels. Like, Zombies Ate My Neighbors is essential to my life aesthetic. He's also giving you the most recent password that doesn't take you straight to this level, but will instead... It's kind of neat because it's its own subcategory of speedruns where, since it's the password that gets you the closest to the last level, some people will do like a run of just that password because you have so few levels before the final level, you have to essentially gather as many resources as you can in the least amount of levels. So it also just shows how versatile the gameplay you can have with Zombies Ate My Neighbor. It's not just what I showed here. Like, this is a game that you can have it be whatever difficulty you want to, because the game was just so well designed with you know, limited ass sources. And then there's your hint there. The game tries to drop a lot of hints that let you know that there are secret levels. The fact that it shows you the tentacles and the flamey baby in the credits, but without showing you what level they're from, and the fact that that employee tells you about Dr. Bug, who we collected in the level, in the bonus level. So, you know, they're trying to let you know. Also, you can die during the credits too, so don't do that. You can totally die during the credits.
That's hilarious. Now play the whole game again and do it right this time.
Well, there is a password to get you to the credits level, and you already saw the winner screen. Also, bless you, Dean Sharp. And the dog is the last victim. That's it.
You did it.
We finished the game. And look, the references don't even end. You have Mr. Ebert. This is just a big love letter to movies and horror in general, and I love it so much.
So essentially, that game was some little 90s child saved the world by touching 500 people without their permission. Gotcha.
It's a game that teaches you the value of consent. Happy Halloween!
Good night, everyone.
Bye.